This episode is brought to you by Uncle Dave's Haunted Doll Emporium. Are your children tired of the same old limp, inanimate doll that you gave them years ago? Do they complain that their doll never talks to them or turns their head slowly to face them? Well, they have just what you need at Uncle Dave's Haunted Doll Emporium. They have possessed dolls, haunted dolls, and even magical puppets, all waiting to meet your child and whisper messages and instructions. Don't wait. Come down today to Uncle Dave's Haunted Doll Emporium. We don't want them anymore. Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk.
An opinionated and accidentally funny horror movie review show. Go, 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 go.
Through the scraggly wood. He had no face! Horror!
Sabrina, don't just stare at it, eat it. New theatrical releases always get priority.
But we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible.
Wow, that didn't sound good.
What's up, what's up, what's up? Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk. It's me, Bryce Hanson.
Hey, Bryce. Hey, what's keeping you spooky today?
Oh boy, so much is keeping me spooky. I got the COVID-19 and that's spooky as fuck.
You got, wait, what?
No, I know.
Wait.
That's the spookiest thing to you right now, I'm assuming.
Yes. Well, that, and I don't have any levels in my headset. My apologies.
You don't?
I can't hear anything. So that's what's keeping me spooky.
We have fun.
We do. We have fun.
Oh, God. Okay. Today, we're going to be reviewing The Unholy.
Yeah.
From 2021, not the 80s one. That there is one, apparently. It's in theaters right now, and it's the first time we've gone to the theater since The Invisible Man.
Is that the last?
I think that's the last one we saw. So
I'm gonna look for it.
It was, it was a scary experience, mostly because we were worried about catching COVID-19 still.
Let me tell you, there was just a lot of kids there. It was a PG-13 movie. There was a lot of dates going on, and a lot of hey, let your freak flag fly. I'm just saying, but. The movie did specifically say, it was like, hey, keep your masks on. And, I kept my mask on because I was like, I don't want to get anybody sick necessarily, but I know I'm not sick. And then everybody else had the exact same feeling.
So, the cool thing you might not know about Horror Movie Talk is that we have the very best community of any podcast you listen to.
Ever.
It's been certified by officials. We have the best fans.
The Guinness Book, they came out and they said... Wow, what the fuck is going on here? How'd this happen? This doesn't make any sense at all. You're just some stupid, hokey, dumb idiots. How does this work? And we're like, we don't know. But here they are.
If you don't believe us, go to our Facebook group at facebook.com/group/horror movie talk. I don't know. Just search it. You'll find it. Also, if you want a really good place to go to our website at horrormovietalk.com. That has links to everything and any podcast platform that you might be part of. It'll link right to our profile. Tonight we're actually having a watch party.
Yeah.
That if you're listening to this on Wednesday, you've missed. But every second Saturday of the month we have a watch party where we use what's it called?
Either Amazon Prime or Netflix.
Yeah.
One of those services. Disney Plus allows you to have watch parties.
Mm-hmm. And HBO Max. Actually, we could have watched Godzilla vs. Kong on a watch party.
Damn.
But I don't know how many people have HBO Max.
This is the thing. Is HBO Max is probably kind of prohibitive into how many people can actually join.
Yeah. Also, we want to tell you about our Twitch channel. We started game streaming, and we're just on the cusp of being an affiliate. So check us out. Were you streaming tonight?
Yeah, I'll probably end up streaming as I'm watching the second Saturday watch party. Kill two birds with one stone.
Oh,
have a chat, have a video chat going while we're watching the thing. So you can,
okay,
yeah.
Oh, right. So
see my reactions
to the
stupid movie.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
have a chat.
Oh, dude, you could just post the link in the chat too.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
I'm very smart.
So check us out on Twitch. Also, Horror Movie Talk is what our profile there is. We post new episodes every Wednesday of the podcast, so please subscribe, leave a review if you like it, or at least a rating on Apple Podcasts if you're on there. We have a voicemail number if you want to call and leave us a message at 682-253-4468. If you're new to the show, we start out by giving a brief review and a score for the movie. We score on a scale of 1 to 10. You know how 1 to 10 works, so I'm not going to explain it. And we'll hear the complaints later. After we give our score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. Later on, we're going to be playing a religious horror trivia game.
See, with anybody else, that would sound fun, but it's with you. So normally, I know more religious things than other people in the room.
Well, no, this is just religious horror movies.
Oh, okay. This is suddenly...
No, it's just religious horror movies.
How the turntables?
So I stole it completely off the internet.
Okay.
So, that's how we do.
That's how you know it's good.
We'll listen to our voicemail on a segment we like to call Horror Movie Whores.
Yeah.
So let's get into The Unholy. We went and saw The Unholy in the theaters, and now I have COVID-19.
Listen, I have a story for you. Something the Examiner will love. A healing, possibly divine.
A girl performing miracles after a visitation from the Virgin Mary. Chicago, New York, D.C., every demographic on this planet is eating this up. Give me the exclusive.
All right, I think I got this all set up. What do you say we do a couple real easy questions?
How many are going to watch? Mary wants to reach as many people as possible.
Maybe millions. There are people out there that don't believe in your miracles. How would you respond to those folks?
Seeing is believing.
And why do you think Mary chose you?
I opened myself up and welcomed her in.
Witnesses of the Virgin Mary draw millions of faithful each year. The Vatican's been tasked to investigate this visitation from the Blessed Virgin.
I have read several libraries worth on the supernatural. Investigated half a dozen miracles. Prove them all false.
She's here.
You think there could be other forces at play here?
When God builds a church, the devil builds a chapel next door.
Don't doubt her. Doubt weakens faith. Hail Mary, full of grace, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death.
This is not the work of the Virgin Mary. It's the work of the unholy. Faith in evil empowers zero.
Believe in her. Offer your soul to Mary.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, the Lord is with you.
Oh boy, Mary's scary.
Oh, Scary Mary. That's what they used to call her. Back in school, we'd say Scary Mary. Well, that's what we'd say it.
So The Unholy can be found in theaters now. Remember how that was? Going to movies in theaters?
I do, yes.
Well, now we really remember because we went and saw it. I mean, this is boring to everyone else, but this is really like a landmark moment. Being able to go back to the theater.
It was a weird
movie.
feeling. It was a mixed bag of emotions and terror.
Right.
The real terror.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't know, David is very paranoid. And so...
Well, you said it too.
I know, but... I mean... Is this not true that you're...
I am
naturally paranoid?
Sure, I just don't like to be singled out.
So we're like watching it, and we both agree, like, yeah, I mean, it's it's probably fine. We'll go. It's exciting to go to the movie theater. And then at the end of the night, I don't know. I mean, we're joking about it, about like, oh yeah, I mean, I hope we don't get COVID-19 now. Like, and then I see like the wheels turning in David's head about like, well, wait a minute. What if we, and it just, I sometimes see you delving into the terror of like, what if, and I feel like that's how the night ended, was like, don't joke about COVID-19, because I really don't want.
Well, I'm always doing that. You know, it's really actually like my whole life.
Right. It's very useful for a horror movie podcast because you're close to that feeling.
Well, I noticed, like, I mean, just coming in here, I noticed things. You know, I just notice everything. Imagine never being able to ignore something. It's awful. It's a touched life.
I hope we don't have COVID-19. I can still smell things, so, you know.
I tasted my breakfast this morning.
Here's hoping.
It was tasty.
So a disgraced journalist, was it Jerry or Gary? This is like a real hard one because it's spelled with a G.
Yeah, I'm going to say Jerry.
Jerry.
Go ahead and say Jerry.
So a disgraced journalist, Jerry, played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, is sent out to a small town to investigate cattle mutilations. When he finds out the story is a fraud, he scrambles to salvage it by creating his own false narrative. While there, he inadvertently stumbles into the story of a lifetime when a deaf and dumb girl named Alice, played by
Cricket Brown.
Cricket Brown.
Cricket Brown.
By Rickety Cricket, is visited by Mary and is now able to hear and talk for her. As the story spreads, thousands flock to witness the miracles that Mary continues to perform. When bad things start happening, Jerry starts to wonder if it's the Virgin Mary or some other more nefarious Mary that fucks. This one is a hard one to review for me.
That works on a couple different
I know,
levels.
right?
Yeah, that's great.
This Mary fucks. So there's a lot of things I like about this movie. I really like the theme. The religious theme is like kind of like right in my wheelhouse. Also the theme of good being deceived by evil.
Now you see that evil will always triumph because good is dumb.
Truth.
I mean, the bones are really great in this story. However, it's dragged down by ham-handed dialogue and mediocre acting. I realize like the perfect analogy for this. Like, you know how some TV shows get exported to other countries and remade in that country's language?
Uh-huh.
So like Everybody Loves Raymond. They take that concept and make it in Russia.
Uh-huh.
Or like the US remake of The Office. Like, this movie feels like a better Hollywood movie was remade in a foreign country, and then that movie was remade in the US.
Yeah,
and that's The Unholy.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you watch The Simpsons in Spanish and you're like, this is all wrong.
Yeah.
You took something so fundamental and important to this show and you changed all of it, and then you just expect me to understand Spanish? No. It's just the voice acting is such an important part.
And it's like they replace things that make more sense in the foreign country.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, that character doesn't work here, so we're going to tweak it this way. And to the American audience, like, whoa, that's a really weird choice. So, I mean, it's also like if you put something through Google Translate and then back into English.
Yeah.
Like, it all makes sense. Like, it seems a lot more simplistic in language, but something slightly off.
Yeah.
Like, it's not quite right. And that's kind of what the dialogue in this movie feels like. It's too on the nose throughout. And because of that, like, the acting suffers, especially when there's not enough given to work off of. And, you know, some of the actors don't have as much experience, you know.
You know, it's kind of weird because I go PG-13. This is a PG-13 movie. You know, I just feel like studios have reached a point where they can literally just have a bunch of bare bones Mad Lib scripts that they just go, okay, just fill in the nouns and the verbs, and then, you know, here's a pronoun, like, you know, like, and then it comes out so perfectly baked the way that it, as like, this is your generic PG-13 horror movie intro script. And I think back to good PG-13 horror movies like The Ring, The Grudge, and I go, boy, was it that I was young when I was watching it and it was still intro-y, feeling like this? It was still like kind of ham-handed and dopey, or was it actually good? And I haven't seen them recently, but especially with The Ring, I go, no, that was a good script, and it is possible. It is possible to write good scripts for PG-13 movies.
I mean, it's
just rare.
It's so subtle. Like, for example, in this movie, there's a scene where Rickety Cricket, what's her name?
Cricket
Alice.
Brown.
Alice is talking to Jerry, and he's filming her for like a news segment, and she asks like, how many people are going to see this? And he's like, 1 million, probably millions. And she says, Mary is pleased with this. That's like,
yeah,
like it's just so like, okay, yeah,
this is the exact Mad Libs
that's
moment.
the point.
Yeah,
that's the point why she's asking that question. Whereas like, just subtly change it as like, of just having her hear that it's going to go out to millions and just have her say something like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Just because then it makes you ask the question, well, why is that great? Why does she care?
Yeah.
Like, that's enough to go off of. Not like, that's good because Mary wants a lot of people to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is not a subtle movie, but I'm sorry, continue with your review. Did you have more?
Yeah, I mean, that being said, like all this stuff, that's like where the problem is. I do think that there is some creativity with some of the shots. The creature design was good, even if it's a little cliche at this point. Doing the, crackly, spastic.
Yeah, it's kind
ghost thing coming at you quick.
Yeah, it's kind of an amalgamation of body contortions and
yeah, but it is good. I mean, I do like the creature design on it.
Yeah, I do too.
I wish they kind of made it a little less generic, like Conjuring type.
Yeah, well, there were elements of it that worked really well for me, like the fingers of the thing. Like,
yeah.
They kept showing the fingers, and it was a very Pan's Labyrinth finger.
Like, I feel like it would have been way more effective if it was slow. Like, if it wasn't like, if the contortion stuff was taken out, and if it wasn't like,
yes,
the crackly, like the I don't know what it is about horror movie creatures that I guess they don't have any like ghost chiropractors, because they're just cracking all over the place.
Yeah, they ran out of cartilage years ago.
Yeah,
so it's just bone on bone. It's the name of my new band.
As far as scares, it relies heavily on jump scares, some of which are very effective.
Oh, man. Yeah, there was one that everybody in the theater... It was like the theater ran over a speed bump. Everyone in the theater just went, whoa.
Yeah. I want to like it more, but it is really predictable, and I was bothered, again, by the dialogue and the acting. It's just under average. Like... There's a lot of good in terms of what the plot is and the story, like what they're actually doing. Like, I actually liked the story.
Yeah. And
I liked like a lot of stuff from it, but it delivers exactly what I would expect for this type of movie to deliver. But there was just some quality issues that brought it down a peg for me. So I give it a 4 out of 10.
I'd say that's fair. I'd say that's very on brand for you. I had a pretty good time with this movie for a number of reasons. There's going to be, you got to take into account everybody's viewing experience. And it is my job as the reviewer to try and ignore my viewing experience, blah, 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 blah. But with all that being said, it all made sense. And some people will watch this movie and go, oh my gosh, they spell it out so well. But you know what? You just haven't watched enough bad horror movies, because there are so many bad horror movies that you it's hard to tell exactly what's going on at any given minute. You know, you're just like, what? Whoa, where'd that come? Who's that? Why are they? Even their motivations are vague.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen in this. And the jump scares were solid. This was a jump scare laden movie, and I kind of liked that. And it earned its jump scares. They weren't. Although I'll tell you what, man. I mentioned this to you in after we had gotten out of the theater. I really feel like everybody at the theater is like, you know, these people are going to be their first time back to the movies. They're going to want the volume turned up to 11. They want to experience the fucking movies. This was loud.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been that long since we've been to the movie theater.
I don't think
AMC
so.
is usually that loud. Like, that's kind of why I like AMC, that the mall theater, because, yeah, they do have a great sound system. Like, I mean, I've been watching movies almost exclusively on, like, either with my headphones on or with, like, a shitty just stereo, sound. Well, I guess it's not shitty. I have a sound bar upstairs, but like it's not the same as surround sound or just being in the theater and having it kind of booming.
It was much louder than my memory of the theaters. But in any event, I had a good enough time at this, and it didn't bother me to the extent that I think it bothered you. But it tell you one thing. It really made me question. I kind of an easy way to get David to go, I like this, is to make a Catholic horror movie. And and this is that. But I'll say that aspect of this kind of sucked. It kind of made me go, do we need another Catholic horror movie? Which I've never said before. So kind of in retrospect, that's kind of messing with my head a little bit. But all that being said, I give this seems like a totally average movie. I'll tell you what, this is a fucking forgettable movie. A really forgettable movie. I've been thinking back over all the forgettable movies we've watched. Ma, The Perfection, Brightburn. Oh man, Brightburn was such a fucking forgettable movie. And this is peak forgettable. So I give this a 5 out of 10, but I won't remember it in a year.
I will give it one thing. Like, as far as Catholic horror movies almost exclusively rely on, like, exorcism. Like, that's where most of them go, is exorcism. And this isn't that. No. So that makes it, I give it points for that.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so that's our score. We want to tell you about a very, very near and dear sponsor to our hearts called Night Channels. Go to nightchannels.com and just browse an amazing selection of horror-themed, metal-themed, goth, counterculture-themed shirts and hoodies. And that's really like the only thing that I ask you to do is go to nightchannels.com, just start browsing, look what you can find, and you're going to find something that you want. We had a user on Instagram post some pictures of their finds. Their finds. So they got a
Chatterer. They got a Hellraiser Chatterer shirt. That was great. I can't remember the other one.
The Thing. I think it was from The Thing.
Oh, yes. The Thing.
But yeah, I mean, they've got not just like, you know, movies like The Exorcist or like the tentpole horror movies. They've got some obscure ones.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt. You know, like 3 on a Meat Hook. My favorite one that I think I'm going to end up buying is Critters 2. They have a Critters Ball shirt, and I've mentioned this before. Oh man, it's so hot because it's got like Korean lettering above it, and it just looks kind of exotic.
So use code HMT at checkout, and that'll get you 13% off your order at nightchannels.com. So again, check them out, browse, when you check out, use code HMT to get 13% off, the scariest percentage. Flowers are blooming, the grass is growing, and it's time to chop the weeds. Thanks to our sponsor, Manscaped, you can trim your hole safely and efficiently. I'm talking about ball trimmers. Manscaped, the global leaders in men's below-the-waist grooming, have an exclusive offer for our audience. Use code HMT to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Join the 2 million men who trusted Manscaped. There might be some women in there. You never know.
If you're sleeping on Manscaped because it has man in the name, first of all, that's sexist. Second of all, you're really missing out on some shit that can change your grooming game.
Yeah.
Speaking like incredible hygiene stuff, Manscaped has formulations to keep you fresh and ready for everything that comes your way all day. My favorite, and I think probably Bryce's favorite too, is the Crop Preserver, which is an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. It's starting to get hot outside, and this is crucial so your balls stop sticking to your leg. But the most important part about this is I have really sensitive skin. I spent a lot of time getting rashes in parts of Africa, and it was awful. So now I'm prone to rashes, and just generally speaking, moisturizers are not good for my skin. This stuff is so soft and soothing that it doesn't cause me to flare up. In fact, I think it seems to be helping. Normally this time of year, the spring and the fall, when the seasons are changing, it's rash time. But this stuff has kept me rash free.
Nice. So I'm going to talk to the men out there that don't take care of themselves, like that just like, I don't know what to do. Like, who cares?
Oh, you're talking to me.
Right. I was once like you.
Look at you sitting over there all fucking high on your throne.
I'm telling you, we're coming out of like COVID shutdowns. You're going to start seeing people. You're going to start going to the office. I'm telling you, nothing feels better than being well trimmed and well moisturized and just smelling nice and good and manly. And that is where Manscaped excels. Like, everything smells great. It's even the stuff that like people aren't going to smell or see, and it makes you feel that much more confident. So go to manscaped.com, use code HMT at checkout to get 20% off and free shipping. It's spring cleaning, baby. Your balls will thank you.
Every word he says is true.
So, we want to thank our... Oh, wait. Before we go on, if you're listening to these commercials, you should know that you don't have to.
You're so stupid. You don't have to.
We have a Patreon tier where we not only release the episodes as soon as we have them edited, they also remove all the advertisements. So, I could drone on and on right now and just force you to go to Patreon
or turn off the show and leave us forever.
Okay, don't do that.
David!
Don't do that. So we do want to start featuring some of our tiers because we kind of like go on and on about Patreon, but we want to focus on just some specific tiers and what comes with those. And I think we should start with our most popular one, the $6.66 tier.
It's the value tier, for sure.
It's called Too Spoopy For You tier. And with that, you get...
That's per month.
That's per month. You get a thank you on the show. You get your name on the supporters page of our website, our eternal gratitude. You get access to the folder with all our sound drops in it. You get access to our calendar that shows upcoming episodes if we remember to put it on the calendar.
You get the Afterpods, which is a whole nother series of podcasts that we have been recording for almost 2 years now, I think, or maybe a year, 2 years. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Where we leave the mics running after the show and just kind of shoot the shit and see what's going on in each other's lives. And like you mentioned earlier, you get early access to a no ad episode, an ad-free episode of Horror Movie Talk. There's a bunch of movies on there that we record in advance so that if we need to take a week off, we can. And I have, three or four movies on there that, no one's heard except for the Too Spoopy For You tier.
Yeah, and if you're a brand new listener, we're not necessarily talking to you. We're talking to the people that really like the show, have been binging. Honestly, it's not too much to ask. $6.66. It's less than a ticket to the movie theater, and that's just per month. How much enjoyment do you get out of horror movie talk?
This is what I'm saying. I'll drop $6 on some packs of gum at the grocery store. And I remember back when, Blockbuster Hollywood Video was the thing, I wouldn't think twice about dropping another $6 on one movie for one night. It was like, so this gets you access to tons of content. And it's just $6.66.
Yeah, and we want to thank our new patrons. We have 2 new patrons this week, probably. I guess it's been a week. So we got Michael H. and Christian C. both coming in at that tier we just mentioned. So they don't have to listen to this part.
Yeah, they don't. Oh,
should probably mention them at the end too. Also, check out our shop at horrormovietalk.com/shop. We got some new stickers.
Limited runs of stickers. I think I only posted 45 of the Scream stickers, and we're already down into the 20s, I think.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, people really dig the new Scream stickers. He's got a speech bubble, and he's saying, and $1 of each sticker, if Dustin's created it for us, which he has, goes to Dustin. So you're supporting us and him.
And also we got a Young Frankenstein sticker, among others that we've had before, and also logo tee. So check it out. Speaking of Dustin Goebel, he's a professional artist who fucks hard. You need to go to his Instagram at dgoebel00. That's at DGOEBEL00 on Instagrams. See all of his Instagrams, and you'll just see how great of an artist he is and how much in debt we are to his talents. So please support him by following him and, honestly, commission him. They make great gifts.
Yeah.
Call 682-253-4468 to leave us a voicemail. Thanks again for listening. Let's get into spoilers. Spoilers. Okay, so we already talked about how intense the sound was. I gotta say, the opening scene where it's through this woman's perspective that's being burned at the stake and getting some kind of mask nailed into her head.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud when they brought out the doll. Because it's such a cliche. It's like, man, could you not have thought of something more interesting than putting her soul into a doll?
Well, like what?
Is the creepy doll so marketable that you have to include it in every mediocre horror movie?
I think so.
Well, that's what they did. So they put her soul into a doll, and then later that becomes integral to the plot. You never know.
This doll lasted under this tree in the elements outdoors in a tree hollow. Mm-hmm. Is a kid's. That's a magnet for kids. You think, oh, you're hiding something in there? No. 450 kids run by that hole every day, and every single one of them reaches their snotty little hands in there and is like, but somehow this doll managed to sit there for 150 years.
And it's right next to the church, so you know that kids getting out of church are just running away from their parents and going to that hollowed out tree. This is the first instance in a movie that I've ever experienced the plot happening because the protagonist guessed the plot.
Wait.
So the journalist goes and they have this kind of thing where he's going to cover a story and it turns out being not a story at all. And so he finds this doll and is like, oh, well, we can just construct a false narrative. And so he stomps on the doll's head and said, the strange occurrences happened when this doll's head was found crushed
Yeah.
And
ironically creating the story
that he just
made up. I see what you mean. That's a good point.
So
oh man.
So he crushes the doll's head, and that, of course, lets the ghost out.
Lets the evil out.
And then it goes to this deaf and dumb girl.
Whoa, she wasn't dumb. She was just deaf.
Ever since I was a young boy. She was playing the silver ball, and then all of a sudden, she saw Mary. I can't remember how it happened, but she went to the tree, and no, that's right. She was almost run over by Jerry because she was like wandering around.
She's wandering through the woods at night.
And
as you do. And
apparently she was healed of her deaf and dumbness. Now she can hear and she's smart. So
keep going.
So she's able to hear Mary, and she's able to talk and tell everyone the messages that she's receiving from Mary. And not only did she receive the miracle of being healed of her deafness and given the ability to talk, she's also performing other miracles around town, like making a lame boy walk.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned
he's still lame, but
the
he's
lame boy walking.
Now.
Something struck me. So at first I was like, okay, so a deaf girl who's never been able to hear or speak is now able to speak perfectly and hear everything you say. Surely a miracle. But
learn to imitate you exactly.
But the second miracle that they choose to highlight is this little crippled boy. Okay, look here. Don't come at me for saying crippled. I was once crippled myself.
He's handicapable.
I prefer the term crippled. That's my preferred pronoun. So anyway, this little boy is in a wheelchair.
My name is David Day. He crippled.
My name Jeff. So he's in a wheelchair. He's the most just generic, like, look how lucky we are, all of us, everyone. Just Tiny Tim, little guy. And he says while his parents are wheeling him to this event, he says, maybe Mary will heal me. And then he walks, but they make this big show of him walking. And at this point, I'm like, we couldn't have sprung for any special effects at all. We had to go for the easiest, lowest hanging miracles that anybody could possibly. These are just actors pretending to hear and walk again, and it's just so. This is the only time you'll ever hear me make this criticism, is because they did the two lowest effort miracles to show on TV. Like, this is stuff that a TV pastor would do at his in their healing service. Walk, and it's totally plausible that the guy could walk beforehand, and it's totally plausible that the girl could hear beforehand, and they're just actors.
Where's all the lepers?
Right.
Where's all the retired people finding jobs?
Where's the people with their dicks cut off who get their dicks put back on?
Right.
Becca told us about a man who lost his dick to gang activity. Well, he couldn't have been in this movie. That's a real miracle. Getting your dick back.
Or just like making a dick larger. Like, I was cursed with a small peen.
Then it just turned into one of those porn commercials,
Yeah.
Just be like, you too can get it with Blue Chew. Okay.
Hey, let's not disparage Blue Chew. They might be a sponsor someday.
I'm not disparaging them. I'm saying they work.
So, yeah, all that happens. It's very obvious. And then all of a sudden, like, this girl becomes the Pied Piper for this entire community and the world writ large. Because, like, she's just, like, stands up at any time. She's like the interrupter. I don't know. I can't think of a good phrase. But she's like, there's always the priest giving a sermon, and then she's like, out of the way, you. She stands up. Mary has something to say.
I'd like to shame you for a moment.
Okay.
I think you're burying the lead, because here in your notes, one that you skipped over was Why are deaf people scary? Question mark.
I forgot I put that there.
And I feel like you need to answer for this.
Well, I mean, that's the note I wrote down, but like maybe it's more like, why are deaf people featured in horror movies so much?
Because it's a very convenient plot tool, right? You have somebody who can be snuck up on very easily all the time. I can't hear what you're saying. You know, they can't hear you. So I do a very good deaf impression, I'll just say.
That just sounds like a retired person.
No. What were you saying, Brett? If you're deaf and you're listening right now and you're offended by this, it's how we hear you. It is how we hear you. I'm sorry.
Wow.
What's the problem, Brett? Hey, is this not how you hear deaf people speak?
Oh, okay.
He's got the shivers.
I don't know how to react now. So yeah, like deaf. There's also like this element of like, oh, they're using their hands, they're communicating. We don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
What are their secrets?
I don't know.
Anyways, that was like the first question I had, was that she's been deaf and dumb her whole life, and they have a listening test where she repeats words.
Yeah.
How would you know what any word sounds like, or how to say it?
Or what it means.
Which
is why it's a miracle.
Yeah.
Shut up. You know, this
like they have this thing, and she like can speak perfectly, like no impediment. Like it's not like she speaks like David just did.
No.
And she can hear and understand everyone. Like they don't even establish that she can read lips. Like even that would explain some of it.
Right, but it's a miracle.
Or it would, or even if like, yeah. So about like 10 minutes later, this is one of my favorite things in bad movies, is when they address the obvious flaw in their plot. And like one of the priests is like, well, wait a minute, why can she hear and say everything perfectly? She's been deaf her whole life.
Yeah.
And the answer is, well, maybe she wasn't like that kind of deaf.
Like maybe she could like subtly hear everyone but didn't realize it the whole time. It's like, okay.
Moving on.
Even I find that a little offensive.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the level of effort taken to explain some of these things. The real answer is it's much more convenient to have someone that can talk and be a miracle.
Can I ask you, what worked for you about this movie? Like, what were the strong points of this movie for you?
I mean, I think generally the plot, or the idea of people being misled by Satan or by evil, is like, that is one of the most compelling concepts to me in just religion even.
I'm glad you're bringing this up. I really am. Keep going. Do you have more to say about this?
Because like, there's kind of I think Mormonism's concept. I grew up Mormon. If you're new to the show, I'm not Mormon anymore.
Bryce
don't at me.
A freshly non-Mormon person a couple of years ago.
Like in the Mormon church, the idea of the devil is a little different than like
the Catholic or
the
Christian.
Yeah, like the pop culture version of it. Like the devil's not this red guy with horns and a forked tongue and tail and all that stuff. Like the devil is a fallen angel, and so he's like, I think Joseph Smith like described him, but basically you imagine a very, very good looking person that's just super charismatic, and that's kind of where you start, which is a much more interesting, like,
I feel like you're low key pointing at me as the devil.
No.
I'm a very...
You're neither of those things.
Oh, whoa! Hey! Jesus. What the shit?
You're a good person, David.
I thought you were...
That's what I'm saying.
I thought we were friends. If
so
we
like
were friends, you'd call me the devil right now.
And that's much more interesting to me than like an obviously evil person. When someone's like, hey, I need you to go over there and kick that puppy. And they're like, oh no, I guess I should.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's much more compelling to have someone trick you.
Right.
And like lull you into security like a con man than it is to have it like overtly evil. And they try, the idea is that these people are being misled, but also they want it to be super obvious and evil.
So the rest of the time. Let's flesh this out a little bit for the audience who hasn't seen the movie. Okay, so specifically what you're referring to is there is this evil spirit named Mary who's taking advantage of the fact that her name is Mary.
Yeah.
Because, as we all know, Jesus's non-fucking mom is also named Mary. And so, I don't know, but I think in the Catholic religion, people will pray to Mary. And so this is not outside the realm of, for people to be like, oh, give it to Mary. So this girl, the deaf girl, is spoken to by Mary. And she believes it to be Mary.
And we see what she sees of Mary, which is basically, you know what the Teletubbies' son looks like?
Yes.
It's kind of like the Teletubbies' son, Mary, where it's just this white face and a sea of white background.
Right.
And that's the only thing you see is the face talking to her. So, and it's very heavenly.
So you're saying that this is what works for you about this movie?
The idea.
So this is specifically the idea that doesn't work for me at all about this movie. It's why I go, oh, this is kind of dumb.
Really?
Yes. I'm so glad we're talking about this because this imposter Mary is functioning off of a broken premise. Is functioning like I'll trick them because they'll be saying my name, and therefore they'll be worshiping me. But that's not what they're all thinking. Everybody in their head is thinking Mary, Mother of God.
No,
everybody in their head is thinking Mary, Mother of God. They're not, just because you say David in a crowded place and I turn around does not mean that you're talking to me. It just means that my name also happens to. No, my son's name is also Bort. And
yeah,
so
I completely agree with you. That's the part that I hate too, which it's like this. I like the idea in that it's like. That's the concept that they're trying to get across.
Right.
The execution of where like, we got them to say Mary. Now we have their souls.
I got them. Gotcha.
Like, that makes no sense at all.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
She's like the bait and switch Mary.
Right. It's like, no takesy backsies. You said my name. It's my name too. Yeah, you're all thinking of a different Mary, and that bitch is great and all, but this we're talking about me right now. And it's like that concept is broken at its core.
Yeah.
It's such a like this was like I'm 14 and this is deep moment.
Yes. Yes.
This is exactly the kind of writing that a 14-year-old would be like, yes. And to an extent, it's somewhat compelling.
Right.
And
it's yeah. So there's a moment in which like the girl is speaking for this person that's speaking through her, and she says
Mary.
She says her name is Mary. And I chuckled to myself because I thought, like, what if it was, she says her name is Deez. That's essentially what it is. It's like Deez. They're trying to entrap people into believing it's something
that's exactly
other
what
than
is.
A switcheroo.
It's some sort of weird entrapment gotcha moment that shouldn't be allowed, but for some reason this movie goes balls deep on
D's nuts. Okay, we talked about that.
So what?
So here's a good question.
Okay, yeah.
How would you react to an actual miracle?
Okay, so like
just something that I thought while watching this movie, because there was like actual miracles, like seeing someone walk again.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
What would you do if there was a like actual irrefutable miracle in front of your face, like not in a, tense televangelist moment that's obvious, like, this seems like a setup, but it was like someone you knew that it met all the miracle rules that were outlined twice in the movie, which was it's an incurable disease, it's instantaneous, and then the third one I forgot. Even though they repeated it twice.
I got a great example of just an example miracle. Okay. So let's say we're in a terrorist situation and somebody runs up to somebody else and does something totally heinous, like cuts them open, puts a grenade in their tum-tum, runs away, and this person explodes. Boom, they explode. And then the pieces of the person seconds later come back together and form this person, and they're like, whoa, did I just come back to life from being grenade exploded? And everyone sees it, and everyone's like, the fuck is going on? Like, that's mind-blowing, right?
Right.
It's so crazy to even say that y'all are like, that's a little obvious for a miracle, but that's the point, right? We've set up a scenario that just couldn't happen, and therefore it is a miracle to see it happen.
But specifically, so I'm going to put some guardrails on this. So specifically, it's someone performing the miracle, someone in the name of God saying like, you're healed now. And so they have like mangled limbs, or they're blind or something, and then all of a sudden they're made whole.
How would I react?
How would you react to witnessing that?
I guess I would just be in awe. I would try and question it, but if it's an honest to goodness, real looking miracle, then I guess I wouldn't have words. Mm-hmm. That's what I imagine my reaction would be.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the reaction would be intense.
Yeah,
like just to the point of like stupefaction.
Yes. Yes.
And that idea is just so strong. I just wish it was true in real life, that those things like actually happen.
Right.
Because it feels like, they used to happen. We got stories of them happening, and some people believe that they happened exactly like that. Like, well, why don't they really happen now?
Yeah. It's because video cameras exist. It's because everybody has a phone and the ability to record speech and video.
Yeah. You remember how like compelling UFOs were back in the day, where you get like,
and now they turned out to be fucking real.
Out of
the government's like, those things are fucking real. I don't know what they are.
So I mean, like back in the 90s, you'd hear like, oh, there's like millions of UFOs flying across the sky and people see them all the time. But we only have this one fuzzy VHS video that catches the tail end of this UFO leaping behind the clouds in, 1,000 miles distance that you can still see. Whereas now everyone has a cell phone camera, and if there's like an instantaneous, like random explosion happening, we have 9 different angles of it.
Yeah, it's incredible.
As it happens.
So cool.
Like, think of that harbor explosion. Where was that? In Palestine?
Yeah.
Where there was literally like 10 different angles of just people filming the skyline that saw it.
Hot take for you. Isn't that kind of the miracle? Isn't the miracle that we have 9 different ways to view an explosion that happened a year ago, and just by random chance that everyone happened to be filming as it took place? That's kind of fucking incredible.
Right. So then the question is like, well, why don't we have a billion UFOs at 5 different angles.
You know the answer to that. Y'all know. All you know, you just don't want to say it because it takes the magic away.
So, anyways, that's what makes these kind of movies compelling. We got to mention Cary Elwes phoning it in to practice his Boston accent.
I couldn't tell what he was doing. This dude was all over the map. Cary Elwes, as soon as I saw him, I was like, is that Cary Elwes? I do this with Cary Elwes constantly.
Yeah.
I'm like, because he's always in these kind of like big-ish films, you know, like you don't expect him to be there and then he's there suddenly. And to me, he's basically an A-list actor, but he shows up in all kinds of movies.
Yeah, he's kind of a workhorse actor now. He's on like lots of TV shows and as, you know, side bits and whatnot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call this a big-ish movie. This is a theatrical release, but it's not.
No, I wouldn't call this big-ish necessarily either. I think of him as
yeah. The last one we saw him in was Black Christmas.
Oh, that was the last new one.
Yeah.
The last one we reviewed with him was, I believe it was Saw.
Yeah, it's always fun watching British people try strong American accents because it goes from being the strong Boston accent to being like a generic American accent to like sometimes dropping a British vowel.
Crazy. This dude could not hit his.
Anyways, I view it as like Cary Elwes was literally like, well, I could practice my Boston accent on my own with a bunch of audio tapes, or I could get paid scale to do it.
Yeah. So
let's do that.
So what's the movie that comes to mind? What's the highest ranked movie that Cary Elwes is in when you think of Cary Elwes?
The Princess Bride, obviously.
Okay. See, that's not me at all. That's Men in Tights. Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Okay.
Every time.
Right.
And I imagine it's weird. I imagine some people go, "Oh, Saw, the guy from Saw."
Sure.
Or Kiss the Girls.
Okay, eventually the priest finds this broken doll in the mud, which is also another thing that was kind of funny because this is like weeks into this storyline where I think people are already visiting, and then the priest is like, "Oh, what's this?" And he picks up the doll like in the exact same place where they found it and stomped on it.
Yeah, this is after having constructed a whole tent around this thing. Like everybody was like, people were swarming the area, and no, everyone's like, just fucking step on that piece of trash doll down there.
And then we find out like, oh, these dolls were used in this very exact way that was obvious from the first scene of the movie, and everyone starts realizing that the priest is freaking out. Oh yeah, also the priest coughs, so that means he has cancer, and he was also healed.
True.
And then since he was healed, he pledged his devotion to Mary, but the wrong Mary. Again, the bait and switch Mary. Like
he pledged his devotion to the real Mary.
To the Mary that healed him. So now he's going to hell. So anyways, Mary eventually...
That's a true gotcha.
Yeah.
Can you imagine devoting your entire life to God and then some demon comes out with like the name also God? Like the demon's like... The demon's like, my name's God too. You devoted to me. Ha ha ha. I got you. And you're like, wait, no, I meant the other God the whole time.
It's like the devil comes out and he's like, actually, I identify as God, so actually you worship me now?
This is why speech matters.
So I'm skipping over a lot. Lots of stuff happens.
What doesn't work in this movie for you?
Tell you what, the terrible Latin singing by Rickety Cricket. Like, I'm sorry. So, first of all, I'm going to say this is true to life. Like, that's the exact type of singing that you would hear in a church. But having the priest, like, crying over the beauty of it, I was just bothered by how bad her Latin was. I was like, God damn it.
Do you know Latin?
Yeah.
This was one of my biggest criticisms of this movie. I was like, how does everybody in this fucking movie know Latin?
No, I don't understand it. I mean, I have enough understanding where I can get the general gist of it from singing a billion Latin things before, but no, I mean, if you're a choral singer or a singer for any length of time, you're going to sing something in Latin, and it's a very easy language to learn the pronunciation rules.
Unless you fall into this very specific category that Bryce just laid out, you will have no idea that there's something wrong with this
I'm
song.
sorry. Her Latin pronunciation was terrible, and it really drew me out of the film.
She had a beautiful singing voice.
She had a mediocre singing voice. She was all right.
Well, how many movies have you been in?
I mean, for someone that was deaf and dumb a minute ago, fantastic.
Dumb? You keep saying and dumb.
Yeah, she couldn't talk.
Is that what dumb means?
You didn't know that?
I feel like mute is a much more astute version of dumb.
You've never heard the phrase deaf and dumb?
Of course I've heard the phrase deaf and dumb, but I didn't know it. I
just thought they were deaf and stupid?
Yeah.
That stupid deaf person. He can't even hear. What an idiot.
Yeah. I just feel like this is an obviously out of touch usage of the vernacular.
I'm sorry. Deaf and mute.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I'll be more woke. I wonder if that... See, now I'm going to find out that that's not the woke term, deaf and mute.
Yeah, it's just a constant...
There's probably some kind of very, very categorized way of saying someone can't hear and someone can't speak that's more sensitive.
Right. We'll
have to, she's unhearing and unvocal. So, yeah, that really drew me on, that terrible Latin singing. I'm sorry. So yeah, then there's a big crowd of people. It ends with this tent full of people going to worship,
praying to what they think is the Mother Mary.
Yeah, bait and switch Mary, and then Jeffrey Dean Morgan. This is also another moment where it's like I'm 14 and deep.
Yeah.
Thing. The ending of this movie is very much that, where he goes, "We have to create doubt."
Yeah.
That's how we can defeat their faith.
Wow. In a lot of ways, this is just a sequel to the hit movie Doubt with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Right.
And wasn't that Oprah in that?
It's no.
No?
No.
Who am I thinking?
Meryl Streep and Amy Adams.
Okay. Amy Adams was in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a movie you didn't like that much and I loved.
No, I did not like that.
Yeah, so this is placed in the Doubt universe, the Doubt cinematic universe. So Jeffrey Dean Morgan comes in and is like, "Hey, I made it all up.
I made it all up.
I made it up." And then everyone's like, "But this girl is talking and can hear now, and this kid was walking, so yeah, well, yeah, I know, it's crazy. I made it all up." And then the girl goes, "It's true. He made it up.
It's true.
I devoted my life to acting like I was deaf and mute."
It was Viola Davis that was in Doubt.
She was?
Yep.
Oh yeah, she was the mother.
Yeah.
Of the boy. That's right.
So. And then we get a fight. They get into a big fight with the bad Mary, and she takes her mask off, and it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
She cracks around for a little bit.
She dustifies Cary Elwes. He gets Thanos snapped.
Dude, yeah, like where's your God now? Kinda,
Right.
I know you devoted your whole life to me and everything, but also. This Mary got you to say her name, so by the rules that I set forth and agree to, you're dead in dust now.
And then they defeat her by making Mary kill Alice, which is her only opportunity to live again, and she dies. The end.
But Alice doesn't really die, so opportunity for a sequel.
Yeah. Then Alice comes back to life for a real miracle, and which is the Unholy 2.
Well, they were all real miracles. It was just so happened that Satan had given Mary the ability to create miracles, and so they were miracles. They were just tainted black miracles.
Which seems like a pretty easy way to get followers. If I were Satan and I had the power to just heal people of all maladies,
just legally change my name to God and
just be like, "Hey, yeah, I'm Satan and I'm the devil and against God, but check it out. I'm going to heal you of all your infirmities."
Yeah.
So, I mean, who's the bigger man here?
Yeah, I accept you no matter what. That other god makes you follow a bunch of rules and you got to jump through a bunch of hoops.
Yeah.
I'll take you no matter what is the matter with you.
So you like the guy that can heal you but chooses not to because
reason?
Question mark.
Because it's better to live life with a bunch of struggle.
How about I give you your legs, you can walk around and fucking and kill as much as you want.
Suck and fuck and, fucking suck.
Yeah.
I think we've created a really compelling argument for worshiping Satan.
This movie does.
Well, I've always kind of thought that it was a weird, like, that the guy who makes you jump through a bunch of hoops to get and supposedly loves you is the good guy, and the guy that'll accept you no matter what's wrong with you is the bad guy. That seems kind of like, okay. Really? So that's the bad guy, the guy that loves me no matter what?
Well,
he just doesn't have as nice of a house.
And Satan doesn't love you, though. He uses you.
He accepts you.
Sure, I guess. I mean, does he accept, or are we just thrust upon him? That must be a hard job, Satan. It's like not like he chooses who goes to hell. It's like maybe he doesn't like some of the people that go to hell, and they're like, well, this is really convenient for heaven. They can just shove off anyone. They can shove off Hitler into hell, and now I got to deal with them.
Yeah, like that really annoying guy at work, just like, oh, Lewis, this guy's back again.
Yeah.
There are those people who just annoy the shit out of the devil, and if you annoy the shit out of the devil, you're a fucking annoying person.
And he can't send them anywhere from there. That's just it.
Yeah.
They're in hell.
I mean, there are some layers there, I suppose.
I guess he does get the satisfaction of being able to torture them for eternity.
I mean, assuming he does that,
yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun for a while, and then you realize that eternity is going to set in? You're like,
it would
okay,
be
just everybody just do you. Like,
yeah, eternal torment. Like, how long would that actually last? Like, how many times?
10 minutes.
How many times can your intestines be ripped out of your body by hounds before you're like, oh, well, I know exactly what this feeling is. You'll be like, it doesn't hurt anymore.
It's
like
another day in hell.
Yeah.
Just another day.
Just another day. Anyway, so final recommendations for The Unholy. First of all, do you recommend people rush out this and see it in the theater and risk getting COVID-19?
I mean, we did. So I don't know. I mean, if you're dying to see a horror movie, this is the horroriest horror movie that's out right now. Godzilla vs. Kong is definitely going to be more fun in theaters specifically.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If this sounds like a good time, do it.
I'm going to say don't do it.
Okay.
I'll take the strong stance of it's not worth it. It's even outside of COVID times, I wouldn't tell people to go to the movie theater and spend $10 on a ticket for this movie. And say, like, this is a Netflix. This will be on Netflix in a year, guaranteed.
Okay.
And you can wait.
I think. I mean, I think that's fair to say, but also, I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it. I had a pretty good time.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, let's go on to our next bit called Religious Movie Trivia.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, 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 pew. Always looking for opportunities to do low effort trivia games. This one I found online and I just stole it.
Okay.
I took it. There's 11 questions. I got 10 out of 11.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say.
Well, Bryce, I was sitting at a computer able to Google all of them, and I got 10 out of 11.
I didn't Google them.
And even we're just.
If I did, I would have gotten 11 out of 11, dick. Okay, so first question.
That was the one that you tested yourself on, and we're like, oh, I should Google the rest of these.
What kind of person do you think I am?
I know exactly what kind of person you are.
A dick? Okay.
You're the kind of guy who would cheat on this to make me feel bad for not getting them right. You'd cheat on it.
I'm offended that you would think that, because that's not who I am. Okay, first question. In Insidious 2010, What was the name of the song to which the spirit can be seen dancing?
What the fuck?
Was it, it's multiple choice. Was it Three Blind Mice, London Bridge is Burning Down, Tiptoe Through the Tulips, or Rockabye Baby?
Tiny Tim or Rockabye Baby? The song that...
So, Three Blind Mice.
What was the song? What was the question?
What was the name of the song to which the spirit can be seen dancing in Insidious?
Probably London Bridge, I imagine.
Okay. You are wrong. It's Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
You fucking kidding me?
Nope.
It was Tiny Tim?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get that one right?
I got that one right.
Yeah, liar.
In Wicker Man 1973, what animal was buried in place of Rowan Morrison? Was it a dog, a cat, a hare, or a goat?
Who's Rowan Morrison?
The girl that died.
Well, in any event, the first thing that came to my mind was a rabbit. So I'm going to say a hare.
You are correct, sir. It was a hare. Arnold Schwarzenegger tries to defeat the devil himself in End of Days in 1999, but which famous actor plays Lucifer in this movie?
I haven't seen this movie.
Was it Stephen Ray, Gabriel Byrne, James Caan, or Pete Postlethwaite?
I don't know. I don't even know who most of those people are. I recall the name Peter Byrne and...
Sorry, Gabriel Byrne, Stephen Ray, or James Caan, or Pete Postlethwaite.
The name that I said, what did I say? I've never seen this movie.
You said Peter Byrne, which isn't one of the names. There's Gabriel Byrne.
Gabriel Byrne.
Correct. It's Gabriel Byrne. Out of that list of actors, like...
I recognize none of those except for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Gabriel Byrne would probably be the most obvious one. Gabriel Byrne was the father in Hereditary.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. 2 out of 3 so far, David. You're doing good.
Thank you.
Not as good as me, but good. What was the name of Max von Sydow's character in The Exorcist, 1973? Was it...
Who is that, Max von Sydow?
You tell me. Was it Father Merlin, Father Bigley, Father Marin, or Father Dyer?
I think it's Father Marin.
Correct. Max von Sydow. Have you ever seen The Seventh Seal?
No.
You got to watch that.
What is that?
It's amazing. It's like a German expressionist movie starring Max von Sydow. It's like he's a crusader, I think, and he plays a game of chess against Satan.
Whoa.
Or against death. Sorry, against death.
Oh.
It's like... It's just one of those like classic movies that has a huge impact that you watch and you're like, okay, I get it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The Seventh Seal. Do you know the year?
Very, very moody. It's probably 50s.
Okay.
Which legendary actor has a supporting role in Carrie, 1976? Robert De Niro, Michael Douglas, Nick Cage, or John Travolta?
It's not Nick Cage, I don't think. I think that predates Cage's... It's around the time that John Travolta would have been maybe a little early for John Travolta as well. Do you recall what year Grease was made?
No.
Was it in the 70s or in the 80s?
I don't think it's the 80s. I mean, John Travolta was still young, and I think I don't know.
Yeah,
It feels like the 70s.
It does.
Because I think Saturday Night Fever was obviously in the 70s.
Right. Okay. So John Travolta is a strong... What were the other two?
Robert De Niro, Michael Douglas, Nick Cage.
Michael Douglas. I don't think Robert De Niro would have been in Carrie. I don't think, but now you're moving your pen around as though you're pre-marking me off. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, I guess Michael Douglas. I really feel like it's a toss-up between Michael Douglas and John Travolta, so I really hope it's not John Travolta.
It's John Travolta.
Oh, damn. I should have gone with my gut.
All right, so this one should be easy.
Did you know that?
I did.
You just knew it. Mm-hmm. You knew that John Travolta was in Carrie.
Yeah, I remember. I almost said Nick Cage, and I was like thinking, I'm like, no, wait. John Travolta was in it.
Nick Cage stuck out the most as being not in it
Right.
to me.
Yeah. I feel I definitely would have recognized De Niro, and I feel like Michael Douglas would probably be pretty obvious too, unless he was unrecognizable.
I don't know that I've ever seen that movie from beginning to end. I know
really?
I've seen it from beginning to end pieced together, but never in one sitting. So
Okay, this one should be easy. This is in Rosemary's Baby, the original. What do the Castevettes give to Rosemary? A necklace, bracelet, ring, or tiara?
oh boy, how is this easy?
We just watched this.
Yeah, but those are also similar. A bracelet, a necklace, a ring, or a tiara.
Mm-hmm.
Bracelet, necklace, a ring, or a tiara. I don't recall. I feel like it's something. Boy, those are all so interchangeable to me. Like jewelry just is just the jewelry. Wow. I don't have any idea. I'm just going to guess and say necklace.
You're correct.
Wow.
It's a very important plot element, David.
They're all the same thing.
No, it's the necklace, and she puts the tannis root in it. Remember? She's like, I got to wear this around my neck because it helps and it stinks.
Can you not do that with a bracelet or a ring?
I mean, not really. There's like a cage of tannis root on it.
Oh, you got it right. What do you want from me?
I'm surprised that wasn't easy. That's it was an important plot element. In Constantine 2005, what size of mirror does Constantine specifically ask for?
What the fuck?
Was it 5 feet, 2 feet, 3 feet, or 4 feet?
What the fuck is going on?
This is the one I got wrong, by the way.
I'm going to use some. Okay, so Constantine was a lot. For some reason, a lot of people on the back end like this movie. I went and saw it in theaters with my brother. I did not like it.
I liked it.
I know. A lot of people like this movie just kind of inexplicably. I don't get it. But I'm going to use my deductive reasoning to go, what is half of the bad number? 6, 3. He asked for a 3-foot mirror.
You're correct.
Yeah.
It's 3 feet. Nice.
Because it's a religious movie.
What country is The Nun from 2018 set? Is it Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria, or Austria?
Romania.
You're right. Yeah. Okay.
Transylvania.
What is the name of the real-life paranormal investigator who is featured in the Conjuring universe? Is it Ted Warren, Larry Warren, Ed Warren, or John Warren?
It was Ed Warren.
You're right. Sure it's not Ted Warren.
Ted Warren.
What job did Greg...
I got him to say Ted Warren. Now he's going to hell. He believes in me now.
It's Ted Warren's.
Right.
So, what job did Gregory Peck's character have in The Omen, 1976? Was it a lawyer, ambassador, doctor, or governor?
I think he was an ambassador. I think.
Is that your final answer?
Was he the dad?
Yeah.
A lawyer, doctor, ambassador, or
governor?
I think he was an ambassador.
You're correct. Ambassador. Last question. In which U.S. state is the film Children of the Corn from 1984 set? Is it Connecticut, Nebraska, Illinois, or Alabama?
Boy, man. We watched this movie a couple of years ago. I was fucking bored to tears.
Did we even cover this movie? I don't even remember we did a review.
We never
because we were so bored.
It's the most boringest. I'm sorry, Nebraska, but you're the most boring of the bunch. I gotta imagine it came from Nebraska because there's a bunch of corn.
You're correct. So you missed 2 out of 11. That's not bad. Not as good as me, but pretty good.
Didn't have Google. So.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
All right, moving on to horror movie Whores. Whores. Was that a longer one, or was that the original?
That's how it goes.
Wow.
It's like 30 seconds long. I love it.
Okay, several voicemails. Let's start out with...
Hey, if you guys want to get in on the voicemail action, you can do so by calling us at 682-253-4468, and that'll get you through to the voicemail line, and you can tell us what's on your mind and let us know, what it is.
Here we go.
What's up, motherfuckers? This is Rojo from the motherfucking Bronx, calling from the Big Dick Mobile here at work. Just wanted to let you guys in on some news that Demi Lovato is pansexual now, which means that she'll finally have sex with a broke motherfucker like me now. Also, if liking mayonnaise makes me racist, then I'm the fucking biggest racist of all.
Same.
Third of all, I had the white chocolate M&Ms, and they don't taste good at all. So there's seriously something wrong with me. There's some kind of duality. I do like just the regular plain M&Ms, maybe even the M&Ms with peanuts inside of them. I really don't know. I'm super confused right now.
I'm confused. What was said about mayonnaise? Why is
if liking mayonnaise makes you racist, then he's the most racist guy on earth. Same. I love mayonnaise.
Why would that?
I have no idea.
Just a non sequitur from Rojo.
It seemed like just like a stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
I like mayonnaise. I like to eat it. I also don't like don't like
white chocolate
M&Ms. Fuck those particular M&Ms and Demi Lovato. I love you.
What's your opinion on M&Ms? Which are the ones you hate, ones you like?
Oh, dude, a couple maybe a decade ago, the world was changed when M&M's released the pretzel M&Ms. By far the best M&Ms ever made, ever. And then after that, I like the dark chocolate ones. Pretty good. But it's been maybe 2 years since I've had any M&Ms at all. So
kind of a pansexual when it comes to M&Ms. I like them all. Like, I'll eat all of them if they're presented. I think there are some that I don't like as much. I don't like the pretzel M&Ms.
What the
as
fuck?
much.
The caramel ones are garbage.
I love the caramel ones.
Okay.
The ones that they're the absolute pinnacle is peanut butter M&Ms.
Yes, I will give you that. I do enjoy the peanut butter ones, but the pretzel ones are obviously better.
All right, here we go. Hot takes.
Hot takes on horror movie talk.
Hello, this is your Swedish super fan Magnus, calling from Sweden. Just listened to the Thing podcast episode, and David was asking about what my feelings were on the Norwegians, and actually, they are silly people, and nobody takes them seriously. So, with that said, they also spoiled the movie for anyone who speaks, Swedish, Norwegian, or Danish, or can understand Norwegian. Because in the beginning, in the first scenes, when the Norwegians enter the camp, they yell at the Americans something like, "It's a thing. It imitates other things. It's not real." So if you, I don't know if it spoils the movie, but a little bit. It's cool though. It's cool. Yeah, long-time listener, but it has been a while since I called. Not a lot been going on since Rats. But I got a nice trivia about the Thing movie. The theme to the movie actually has like the beat, that dun dun sound. It's supposed to symbolize a heartbeat, an irregular heartbeat, like a fake heartbeat. And then somewhere in the middle of the song, it becomes two heartbeats. Like it's entered something else. like two organisms are merging, and then at the end it's one heartbeat again. So even in the theme song, there's a clue. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Well, bye.
Well, Magnus, on behalf of my ancestors, fuck you. We are not a silly... Norwegians are not a silly people.
Yeah, they are.
Very serious and stoic, and we have immense oil reserves, so fuck you. The other thing is spoiling the movie. I don't think that spoils the movie because, the dog was real shifty-eyed. So, I mean, that really tells you.
You want me to replace the villain with a dog? I mean, nobody will know what's going on.
They will if you set up that the dog is evil. All you have to do is show him doing this. And people will suspect the dog.
I'll never get enough of that. I love how much has been happening since...
Rats.
Actually, it's like he's reached the pinnacle of his life and he just doesn't know what to do anymore.
That's not...
He's gotten us to review Rats.
So he says that, but he's burying the lead there because and frankly, I'm glad he brought it up because I'm very disappointed in you, dear listener, because last week I made a very explicit instruction to go listen to Magnus's podcast called Filmklubben because they're doing a English-only episode on the movie Rats, Night of Terror, which you idiots made us watch. and I checked in with Magnus yesterday. I called him. Okay. Now I'm on a fucking roll. Okay, are you fucking ready for this? Magnus is a teacher. All right.
Really?
He teaches the youth of Sweden.
Wow, I didn't know that. What does he teach?
History, I believe.
Huh. I'll be damned.
I'm not sure, but I think. And so I video conferenced him just out of nowhere, and he picked up. And I was like, "What time is it over there?" It was like 3:00 our time. He's like, "It's about 1:30 at night." I was like, "And you just picked up a video conference?" He's like, "Oh yeah, well we get a week and a half off for Easter." They get a week and a half off for Easter. We sometimes don't get that for Christmas, and that's the best that we do. Mm-hmm. He gets a week and a half off for Easter.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's like, "Yeah, I've inverted my whole schedule. I just stay up all night and sleep all day. It's a wacky time." So speaking of silly people, but none of you went to go listen to his podcast, Filmklubben, about Rats, Nights of Terror. So, you guys are a bunch of hypocrites. And
hypocrites.
Well, yeah, because they wanted, got to hear about all this Rats content, Justice for Rats, and then it's like, here's some more content. So they're like, who cares?
Well, from our download numbers, not a lot of people were interested either, compared to the regular. All right.
God, ew, David.
It's your boy Bugsy, calling from Tampa. Much love to my favorite two whores. Anyways, I was covered in whores this past weekend, finally filmed the new music video for my song Aesthetic, and the video featuring all the whores. It's going to drop on my mother's birthday, May 12th, which is also Mother's Day. But anyways, just listen to the Thing review. I love that movie. Well, I guess not the original, but the remake, the one with fucking the dude that pours the alcohol into his computer. That's awesome. Imagine if it was a fleshlight on the computer, then you stick your dick in and you get whiskey in the pee hole.
That's what I said.
Anywho, very excited about that review because that's one of our favorite movies, number 2 on our list of 140. Fucking hate the what is it? The prequel that came out. That movie sucked ball sex. But speaking of ball sex, having sex with my ex last night. She came over at 5, 6 in the morning. Woke up this morning, started having sex again, wasn't wet enough. And because of said, lack of wetness, I asked for a blowjob. She was too tired to give me a blowjob, so she ended up driving home because I kicked her out of my house because she wouldn't suck my penis. But anyways, much love, Bryce and David Doobie Day, and, it's good times over here. It's your boy Bugsy, and I've got a sex joke for you. Knock, knock. Who's there? Not you, bitch, if you're not sucking my penis.
What's up, Dad?
That's Bugsy. He does have a new. He's been. Okay, Bugsy is a hustler.
Yeah.
He's trying to make it in the rap game. He's got a new music video and song coming out apparently on Mother's Day.
He sent us several behind the scenes photos of these girls showing us one titty.
Yeah, there's a lot of titties going on. These are very attractive women, Latinas, and I think they're pretty. You're making all kinds of faces over here at me like I'm being rude for calling them.
They're delightful.
Attractive.
They're super attractive.
I don't mean to blow you up here, Bryce, but wow. Okay, well, let it be known, Bryce is not down. But anyway, so yeah, looking forward to his music video on Aesthetic, which is a song that he also, you can hear him at the end of the show as he plays us out. Always love calls from Bugsy. Dude has been supporting us for a long time. But you're not going to be in his house unless you're sucking his dick, apparently. So I'm never going to Bugsy's house, I'll tell you that.
All right, I'm excited about this one.
Hey, this is Max. I just wanted to call because on the Sing episode, someone left a voicemail and said that Mormons don't use crosses because they don't worship Jesus. And I just wanted to call and say what Bryce was saying is true. We definitely worship Jesus. I'm a Mormon. We're actually called the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So, yeah, we definitely believe in Jesus. I mean, I'm in my parents' house right now, and there's like 100 pictures of Jesus on the wall. So, yeah, I just wanted to call in, say that, yes, Bryce is right on that one. So, big ups to Bugsy, big ups to Rojo, and yeah, see you later.
Yeah, backing me up. I knew Max would back me up.
A couple episodes ago, Biggin, one of our longest supporters, called in and dropped some knowledge on the HMT fan base and said that Mormons don't worship the cross because they don't worship Jesus. And yeah, what do you got to say about that, Biggin? Like, they're called the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I don't know of any other Christian denomination that has Jesus Christ in their name.
This is my favorite thing about Christians that, say that Mormons aren't Christian. I mean, granted, we're not like an offshoot or not like a branch necessarily of mainstream Christianity. Weird. I don't know why I keep saying that. But yeah, they still worship the Jesus from the Bible. But whenever I say that to someone that's going to argue with me about this, they say, well, yeah, but it's not the same Jesus. It's like, okay.
It's Mecca God Jesus.
It's Mecca God Jesus.
Hang on.
I can't believe that Brian
doesn't pray to Jesus. He prays to Mecca God Jesus.
Hey guys, it's Elizabeth. I'm just calling today because I wanted to address the one titty challenge that you guys were complaining about on the Godzilla podcast. I just wanted to say, I mean, you guys have to realize that a lot of your fan base is females. Now, we can't exactly go and show our boobs on Facebook and, trim our boobs. I mean, I don't have hair on my boobs. I would hope no other female has a super hairy chest like a guy does, but, can't exactly do that. So, if you guys are going to complain about a challenge that you guys are doing, you probably should have a challenge that you can offer to the entire community. I mean, I was talking about this with, I think it was Kate, when you guys were on Twitch streaming. It's not really fair to us. Like, we can't do anything. Because I gladly would have participated. But, and my boyfriend doesn't really have a hairy chest, so I can't really do anything with that either. So, just slightly disappointed you guys were complaining about us. And I'm like, well, I couldn't even participate. So how is that fair to the females?
It sounds like a lot of excuses to me.
Fucking hard. And I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay. So first of all, we had a female listener, if you want equality, this is what it looks like, baby. Show me your chest. But we had a female listener share her boobs with us on Twitter. Twitter's fine with nudity. You can show penetration on Twitter. So go nuts on Twitter. First of all,
well, she did have stickers over her nipple. So I mean, just to
but you could see the outlines.
I'm just saying, it sounds like a lot of complaining and excuses. Okay. let's give some perspective. I didn't post mine. You know why? Because I'm modest and I don't want to show my nipples. Okay, I don't want to show my boob because it's luscious and ample, and I don't want it to be out there in the world. Much like I'm sure the women listeners are.
Okay.
We're just
here, Bryce.
I understand why you don't want to.
I get it. Here. Let's. Okay, Elizabeth. Oh God, we're such bitches. You and me are the biggest bitches on earth. Oh man, big bitches. Anyway, here's the new challenge. This is the shave your head challenge.
Take a picture of you in a Night Channels t-shirt.
You can go ahead and shave your head. Take a picture of yourself in a Night Channels t-shirt, and post it up. Everybody can do that. So, bingo. New challenge, baby. Yeah, Elizabeth was right. We need something everybody can participate in. So here we go.
I totally understand what you're saying, Elizabeth. Yes, it's probably a little unfair. However, on it, let's be full disclosure. This is about pushing a sponsor, and the sponsor is mostly for men. So, and honestly, we do have a lot of female listeners. We love our female listeners, and they're honestly probably the most active.
Oh, dude,
listeners.
The ladies are. I was telling this to somebody else the other day. They were like, who listens to your show? And I looked at the demographics, and there's a lot more males. But
yeah,
but I was like, dude, but it's not even a comparison in who's a better. Generally speaking, in who's a higher quality listener, it's the ladies. The ladies win that hands down.
Whoever can put up with our shit that is of the opposite gender, they are the salt of the earth.
Well, they're just objectively more interactive. They care more about the show. We have almost a 50-50. So if you look at our demo, it's like 28% ladies and the rest is males. Mm-hmm. But if you look at our Patreon, it's 50-50, meaning the ladies are showing up way more frequently to support us than the males.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I don't know that anybody would compare to Bo's boobie. Bo had let's face it, he had a pretty good looking teat.
So we'll come up with a challenge next time that's all inclusive. That's pansexual.
Shave your head challenge.
Mm-hmm. All right. Last voicemail. This one's from a lady.
Hey guys, this is Amber calling. Excuse my voice, first of all. I don't know, I have something going on with my throat, but
too sexy.
I am listening to one of your old episodes, the Blair Witch Project episode. If you recall from one of my previous calls, that is the one movie that I haven't watched yet because I'm too much of a wuss, so I'm kind of trying to, work up to it. I'm spoiling it for myself a little bit, just maybe, that'll make me feel a little bit better while I'm watching it. But anyway, kind of reminded me of a funny story from when I was a kid. So, when I would have been, 9, 10 years old, and my little brother was about 5. We lived out in the country. We were on a rural road, and we had actually, my dad pulled out our tent, and me and my little brother were going to sleep in the tent in the front yard. So he had pulled it out of the garage, got it all set up. Me and my little brother were out there. We were falling asleep. All of a sudden, this shadow comes up to the tent, and the tent starts moving. Like something is touching the tent, not really shaking it, but it's just moving weird. So I'm freaking out. What the hell is going on? I unzip. I don't know how I worked up the courage to unzip the tent, but there's a fucking deer. There were leaves from when we went camping previously. There were leaves on top of the tent that probably fell down from another tree or whatever, and this deer was eating the fucking leaves. I thought I was gonna die, but yeah. So anyway, there's my story. Thought you guys would get a kick out of it. Thanks, guys. Bye.
That's a great story.
Bye. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Blair Witch Project is like just the fear of being in a tent and hearing stuff outside. There's like, it's a unique thing where like you discount how like exposed you are in a tent until you start hearing people rustling around.
Yeah, it's true. It's definitely true. This reminded me of one of my favorite posts on the Horror Movie Talk group this week. Matthew S. went on to our Facebook group and said, what are your top 5 episodes of Horror Movie Talk? And then he listed his. He says, and I love this lineup. Bats is his number 1. American Psycho, Puppet Master the Littlest Reich, Thanksgiving, and Godzilla versus King Kong versus Kong. And then a bunch of other people started posting theirs. A lot of people said bats. and it made me realize, I think the best episodes that we do are the ones where we get kind of fucking loopy. Where we start losing our minds a little bit and we start getting real giggly and goofy. Next week, I think I'll probably be releasing our Annabelle episode, which is like that. So make sure not to miss that because we are fucking loopy on that one.
Okay, so that's Horror Movie Whores. Thank you so much for listening. Please, if you like the show, share it with a friend. That's honestly the way we keep growing is because of listeners like you. Go to our website, horrormovietalk.com. We got several ways you can support us. Not only the shop, Patreon, but also links to stuff on Amazon that you can buy, and we get a little taste of that. Special thanks to our new patrons, Michael H. and Christian C. Go check out patreon.com/horrormovietalk and learn the perks and benefits that you can get from the different tiers, and you might find something that you like and that's worth, supporting the show that gives you hours and hours and hours of entertainment a month.
For free.
Just saying. Again, if you want to call us and leave us a voicemail, that number is 682-253-4468. We love you. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
We can't stop here. This is Bat Country.
Looking for a podcast full of burps and gas, perverted cast, skinny and fat? Look no further. Horror Movie Talk is accidentally funny, begs to donate money, fake sponsors for dummies, and so much more. New episodes every hump day. They'll pickle your dickle for foreplay. Patreon members have it your way. Vote for a movie every month for the review. Choppa choppa, don't just stare at it, eat it like a taco. Put your tongue through the phone hoodie, Picasso. Look at them hot kids, swear not a pedo. Got me too'd with Cosby eating jello. Pudding Pops done gave Bryce flatulence. Train addict Dave doesn't give a shit. 1 through 10, is it horrible or excellent? Oil me up, daddy, is dinner Robinson kiss. Bryce Hansen, look at them hot kids, Chris Henson. Masturbate with a crucifix, exorcist. Face hugger, chest bursters, alien. Linda Blair peed on Sigourney Weaver. I know it's true cause it came from social media. Patrick Bateman can't understand you. Stab you to death for rotten apple reviews. Opinionated podcaster with a doctorate. Spookology, doctor of philosophy. Bad gastritis, need colostomy. Turn Patreons into human centipedes. David Doobie Day, scare no expert. And global fucks hard, professional sexpert. Afterpods, taglines, and porno flicks. American Psycho, them guys pretty sick. Choppa choppa, don't just stare at it, eat it like a taco. Put your tongue through the phone hoodie, Picasso. Look at them hot kids, swear not a pedo. Got me too'd with Cosby eating jello. Pudding Pops done gave Bryce flatulence. Train addict Dave doesn't give a shit. 1 through 10, is it horrible or excellent? Oil me up, daddy, is dinner Robinson. Nothing good happens in the woods. Always get more than you bargained for. AIDS, Corona, COVID, curse, Lorona, Green River Killer, because reasons, hallway of poop monster kids screaming, ain't your ordinary dingleberry itinerary, 30 days shutter and jump scares, they fucking scary, time for the spoilers with jokes and tropes, use their white socks to catch their loads, to show them one titty, pretty, paganism you should worship, they Teflon dicks, Pacific Northwest, let them see one breast, shifty ass, stay spooky, poor man's digress. Bugsy, HMT, horror movie talk. Hold on, they don't like Halloween. Fuck them.
Now you see that evil will always triumph, because good is dumb.